Hey, welcome back to Metroid Prime 2. We just got into Agonal Ace, and now we are getting ready to explore it. I mentioned earlier, these twin mold dudes. Annoying prick, they spit stuff at you, they charge at you, it's annoying. Anyway, Agonal Ace is really a lot about rotation, or revolution, or going around, basically. Taking the long way around. Until you get the double jump, you can't really... Oh yeah. This place, charge beam doesn't do it, you gotta shoot it with a missile. Really, until you get the double jump, you have to go around on those platforms in order to get to higher ground. Once you get the double jump, you can get up here a lot easier. So I'd like to get more energy to recharge that small amount that I lost from that stupid bird thing. Here's another one of those bridges. They really do require a pretty significant amount of missiles. But luckily they give you quite a few upgrades early on in the game, so not too much of a problem. Here is a door right behind those bars that I'm just ignoring, because you can't get to it at this point. And it's just there as a tease, and it's always irritated me. Anyway, you want to clear out the bird infestation before you try to cross the bridge, otherwise you'll get hit, and it's irritating. So that's the main, hub room of Agonal Ace. Now we're going into the little side rooms. Here we'll return later once we have bombs, which we'll be getting very soon. And here, we're meeting some old friends. Aren't you excited? Yep, it's the pirates, the space pirates, the pirates that Samus fights forever and ever and ever. And they just don't die. Even when Ridley dies, he comes back as a robot. I don't really get it, honestly. So this guy, using cover, is pretty stylish and smart and tactical. Except that one guy hit me anyway, so it doesn't really matter much. This last guy can be kind of a pain to hit, since it's hard to aim up there and stay still and not get hit by him until you lock onto him, and then it's a lot easier. Now, if you're stylish, you can use a missile to knock him all the way off, but it was not that good. There we go. So here, you'll get some health back, since you will probably lose one a little bit in that skirmish. Then go on this clockwork gear thing. This other clockwork gear thing. And here is a door that leads to something that, honestly, it kind of tripped me up the first time that I played. Because you go through the kinetic orb cannon, blah blah blah. You've seen that before. But it looks pretty much identical on the other side, except for the corpse, which, if you're like me, you might not notice. So what you do is roll down, and there's a missile expansion behind the corpse. And then, move along into this door, get caught behind the corner, and here, small passageway. And this is a room that we will be returning to later. Right now we can't do much with it because we don't have the morph ball bombs. But once we have those, we'll be returning. So take the orb cannons back. Drop down. And we'll be back on our way. You can ignore that missile expansion until you go there a little later. But I just want to get it now because missiles are useful for boss fights, and there's a boss fight coming up. And here's bees. I hate bees. There are bees that launch their stingers at you from long distance. And hide below you. Get up here. There you are. So these jumps, I've always had trouble with. They're just It's the first-person platforming thing. You can't see exactly where you're jumping off of, so you can't really get a perfect sense of distance. This is fixed a lot once you get the double jump, but even then there's some jumps that can be pretty tricky. So, aim yourself. There we go. These guys, I'm just ignoring that one, but you have to shoot with a missile before you can KO him. In fact, I believe that this stylish thing right here, bam. Once you shoot them with a missile, they do that, and you can shoot them with the beams, and they'll die. And like I said, they're really kind of asking a lot of missiles of you. Especially if you miss like that. These trees are weird. They turn everything blue. And on Dark Aether, they turn everything red. These guys are shriek bats. They're irritating. They charge straight at you and are pricks, basically. You can snipe them from a long distance, but that's the patient thing to do. And I'm not very patient. Do that. And there we go. It's actually, I was really surprised that I managed to get through that without being hurt. Because I figured I would miss at least one. Here, all we can do is go into this arena and prepare for a boss fight. Hey, it's one of these guys, and it's super big. Really, at this point, it's not too much of a difference from the other ones, just bigger. Now we got something challenging. This guy is the Bomb Guardian. He guards the Morph Ball bombs. What you gotta do is shoot his tail, which is harder than you might think. And then he'll rear up his head and you shoot his head off, and it's awesome. So the problem with shooting his tail is that a lot of the time you'll hit his skin really close to the tail, which repels your beam, or you'll hit the ground right below where his tail just was, and that won't work. But luckily, once you get into the vibe, it isn't too tough. You might get hit by a couple of these bombs he's laying. It's irritating, but shouldn't take too long. Especially, you can probably dodge the ones that he just straight shoots out of his mouth. It's the one that he's kind of laying down are the problem ones I've noticed. So it'll charge you every once in a while, which does more damage than the bombs. And it should be easy to dodge, but I'm not very good at it. Shooting them with missiles is highly recommended, since missiles do a lot of damage in a little amount of time. I recommend one missile and then just blasting the heck out of him. So after about 4 rounds of that, unless you screw up shooting him, he'll go down. And here are the Morph Ball bombs.